Hello, everybody, and welcome back to Linda's Corner. I am still Andy Jordan, and that is still Linda Chase, and it's her corner. Last time you joined us, we talked about roadmaps, and we discovered that not only are they immensely powerful, they are so simple to use that even I can do it. This time, we're going to take things one step further, and we're going to talk about money. We're going to talk about financials. It's all very well to put together all these wonderful roadmap plans, but at the end of the day, they have to be funded because otherwise they're just dreams. If we're actually going to turn them into benefits and achieve our goals and objectives, we've got to take these plans and fund them. So, Linda, you showed us last time how to very, very quickly, in a number of different ways, create the roadmap, use the data to populate it, show all the different information. Can we then jump from a roadmap item and credit a cost plan straight away from that, or is it a little bit more complicated than that?
No, it's very simple and along those same lines. Let me share my screen. Okay, share content, and you should be seeing my screen now.
Yep, just come up.
And I thought I'd start again, from that roadmap perspective here. Since last time we went through and we created a roadmap, et cetera. And for those of you that know me, I just am very passionate about financials. I did a lot of the financial modules in Clarity, and I just think they're just awesome. Because again, I'm that Excel spreadsheet geek, and I love that. So look at this one down here, credit card processing. I've clicked on that, and right here, I've got this hot link. Now, because you may or may not remember, last time I imported from ideas, and I also imported some items from projects, right? So if I click on this hot link, and then I've linked them so that they're connected, right? So anytime I change data in one, it's going to reflect back on my roadmap, which is very cool, something that might be another topic that we discuss another time. But notice that I went right into the cost plan of record. I'm going to switch this to plan, and then I'll kind of explain all these views, right? So here's my plan view, and you can see at the top, I've got the months. Now I could do a lot of different periods, right? I could change this to be quarters, I could change it to be years, but again, I'm kind of working on 1 year, so I'm going to leave it with this fiscal period, and I've got that information. Now over here on my settings button, this is where I could change that monthly period if I wanted to something else, to a period type, to quarterly or years. But right here, I'm going to open this up a little bit, and if I type correctly, I'm going to extend out this cost plan. So I have a few more months to work with, right? Now I could also associate a benefit plan if I wanted to, and I can change my decimals and again, time period, but let's leave it as that. So now you see I've got some extra periods here, right? Now this isn't creating a cost plan yet, but I want to make sure you're comfortable with what we have first. Over here are my two different metrics that I'm using, cost type and trans class. I've got about, I think, 12 ones that I can select from when I go ahead and create a cost plan. But what I want to show you is, let's say that December and January here are pretty consistent, right? I'm going to copy those again, my little trusty Control-C and Control-V, and I'm going to go ahead and fill out to March because I want to have those extended all the way. So notice that I can do that rather easily. I can also edit any of these cells because it's like, a spreadsheet on steroids. I've got totals over here as well. If I wanted to insert an item, like I've got hardware here, but let's say I wanted software as well. I've got my trans class list, so there's software. And again, we'll just add in 20,000. Now, if I wanted, again, Control-C and Control-V, I can paste that, again, very similar to Excel, and you see that it completes it as I go along, right? So that's pretty cool. Now, for me, I like to see different versions of my cost plan, right? So let me go back over here, and this is where I can actually show you how to create one. I just wanted to make sure that you saw all the different, columns that we had first, and then let me go in and create a new plan. So now I get this little window. I'm going to do roles and resources. I won't give it a plan description right now, but I could certainly do that. Same period, but let's say I want to kind of extend this one out again and make it the same time period. And I'm going to pick resources and roles. Yeah, I think that's pretty good. And I could pick a benefit plan as well, but simple, right? Pretty easy. And notice my plan is created. Now, again, I don't have anything, but I have added staff under my staff area. So watch this. I can just click on a way to populate, and I'm going to do it from allocations, and automatically
just like
my
that.
data comes in. Yeah, just like that. I just think that is so easy and wonderful. Now, of course, because I extended it out and I haven't gone back and extended staff and, allocated, those are blank. But I think it's kind of key to be able to see that. Now, one of the things that I think is, just very cool about this is, again, I've got all the data right here. And if I switched, I can switch to other formats as well. But let me hold that thought for a minute and make sure that you're following along with me on what I'm doing and see if you have any other questions so far.
I appreciate you pausing there and checking in with me, because we do know I'm not the smartest, but I did understand that. It was so simple. And I love that description of Excel on steroids, because, you look at it and it's familiar, it's comfortable, because we're all used to working in spreadsheets, but then it just works. I'm not sitting there trying to do equals sum if, all this stuff to try and figure it out. It just does it for me. It's just literally copy and paste in the data, edit it if you need to, and it's there. And then with the staffing stuff, didn't even have to paste it in, right? We just imported it through, we connected it together. Awesome. Where was that when I was young? All right. So, but we don't just do a plan, right? We do a plan and everyone thinks it's great, and then the world changes, or the bosses change their minds, or we've got new goals and objectives, and everything has to pivot. So we have to sort of keep changing things. We have to look at it in a different way. How easy is it to pivot through the plans, to take a look at those different views? Maybe we do a CapEx or an OpEx lens for finance, and then maybe that CapEx information is captured, some way, and I don't know, maybe through Clarity's PowerPoint. PowerPoint, Power Project, okay, I'm wearing these teeth in for the dog. Let's try this again. Through Clarity's powerful project templates, I want to do that so the PM doesn't need to go through all that funky finance stuff and the capitalization rules. They can just take what's there and use it. Can you do that? Can you make the life easier for these project managers, because they're getting stressed? Linda, help me.
I can help anyone that, even if they don't know enough about financials, right? It's pretty easy to do. So again, sharing my screen here. Give me a minute to slide over my top. This little group by functionality is just so slick. So let's say, because of these roles and everything, and again, imagine if this was a cost plan that had 50 items, right? Or 100 resources, which happens often. I mean, you have tons of items. I can drag roll up to this group by, and notice, I mean, this is what I think is again, Excel on steroids here, but now I've got everything grouped by engineer, by project manager, by security architect, which is just so easy for me. And what I really like is I also have totals and subtotals up here, right? So that you can see, here's my grand total up here for this particular cost plan. Here's my engineering total, all my engineers underneath, my project managers, my security analysts. So any way that I'm grouping this, I can see exactly what's going on. Now, if I go rid of role and let's do resources, same thing, right? I can group by people and see where it is and where they fall. So lots of different ways that I can do this, which is just fantastic. If I go back to my plan list, and let's go back to that initial cost plan, and look at that one, because that, if you remember, was done a little differently, right? That was done by cost type and trans class. So if I want to look at things by cost type, I'm going to drag them up there, and immediately I can see the capital items and the operating items, again, with my subtotals, totals, group by, et cetera. So for me, I tend to use this whole plan list and slice and dice it, right? And I just set up cost plans with different views so that I can look at it based on different grouping attributes, which is pretty slick. Hopefully that answers your question, Andy.
Yeah, it took me forever to get the question out, but you understood and you answered it. And I love this fact that you've just, in one place, you've got the ability to look at the data in so many different ways, and all the different stakeholders can get what they need from it without anyone having to go away and manually change stuff, and the risks associated with making mistakes with humans. It's just so simple and so straightforward, but without compromising the power of the information. It's taking complex data and presenting it to users in a way that they can consume really easily, which is awesome. And I love the fact that you built the product not for typical users, but for people like me who are a bit dim and don't really understand this stuff, right? I mean, if I can understand it, everyone can understand it. And this stuff is really, really cool. So we talked a lot about planning, and as somebody who spent their career managing projects, I live and I die by the plan. But those stakeholders, they tend to sort of get a little bit more interested in actual information when we actually start doing the work, and the plan becomes less important, and they want to know how much money I'm actually spending and which categories that's going into. There's no way you could support that and help me out, is there, Linda?
I can.
Awesome.
So let me again share content and go into a couple of areas that we can do here, because I think it's pretty exciting with what we've got and what we can do, right? I'm going to take off my groupings for a minute, and then I'm going to open this up. Notice that this view that I'm in is called planned, right? Up here to the top, I've got different views. Now, these are all predefined. This is before we got into the common component grid within Clarity, which allows you to create your own views, and we'll show that in another session, and to bring in all your financial attributes that you want. But what we did this first go around was gave you enough views that got you started. So if I switch over here to actuals, you're going to see I've got an actual view, and you'll notice that we've got actuals all the way through October. Cool. If I switch and go to plan to forecast, now this one is really cool because you can't get this in Clarity's Classic at all unless you go into reports and run a report that does forecasts. What happens here is, here's my month and it's planned, and here's forecast. So this is your original planned amount that's under forecast, and as the month rolls by and you record actuals and the month closes, you will see actuals here. So over here to the right, it's like a rolling amount. I always know, well, where am I going to end, right? What's planned to completion? If I scroll a little bit here, right, we haven't done anything yet. We haven't posted October, so you'll see planned and forecast are the same. That's because I don't have any actuals yet in there that are posted. But this is great because then my information over here to the far right changes, to be actual as I move along, which is pretty cool. Something else I can do here before I jump into the transaction views is I can change quickly the columns that I want to see by turning them on and off. Or if I didn't want something particular, I can scroll in and I can even get more granular and just take off forecasts for September, if that's what I wanted to do. So let me click back over here. And the view I think that you might want to look at would be plan to actual. So plan to actual is pretty cool. And let me go back now. I'm going to go back to roles and resources just because there's a little bit more data here and a little bit more fun to kind of play with. And then let's go to plan to actuals. Okay, and now notice here, and if I scroll forward, you can see, because I was looking at this morning and I was like, whoa, there's some areas that, are definitely over and some areas that are under. Yeah, in labor. So I can easily click on, if I wanted to know, what the deal was here, right? We've still got 10,000 remaining. Well, what's going on? I can click on these hyperlinks and I can go straight into that transaction register.
Look at that.
So I don't have to go into Classic. I don't have to run a query. I don't have to, pick the right areas. It's all right here at my fingertips. So that I think is just way cool. So those are some of the ways that we can do that analysis and switch things around. So remember, you can add as many cost plans as you want over here, and you can, change your views, change your columns, and do what you need to do. So I don't know. I'm pretty excited about it. Like I said, financials is my passion, and I've loved working on these pieces.
And who doesn't love money, really? I love this. And project managers, my entire career, I've been trying to get project managers to think beyond just plan and actual and focus on forecasts. Because at the end of the day, that's what matters, right? The plan is a line in the sand, but as you actually deliver and as you get those variances, because it's a plan, it's supposed to be wrong, you actually see what the forecast is, which is what you can change. It's what you can control, it's what you have to manage. So to have that so easy, and then to be able to look at a plan and actual and drill all the way down to see what's going on with literally 1 or 2 clicks. I mean, it's awesome. There is absolutely no excuse for not keeping on top of project financials. And of course, it rolls all the way up. So, we got portfolio financials, we've got the whole organizational investment financial management piece here. It's absolutely awesome. So, ladies and gentlemen, that is Linda's Corner Financials. It's something, financials is something that we all get a little bit nervous of because it's complicated and it's accounting and there's all those people that talk funny words that we don't really understand as business people. But this shows just how easy it is. We looked at capital, we looked at operational, we looked at plan, we looked at forecast, we looked at actual. And we did all that as well as building the whole cost plans out, which we could have done with benefit plans as well, in the space of, 10, 15 minutes. It's that powerful, it's that easy, and it's that simple to consume, which is what it's all about. Linda, thank you so much again. We've explored 2 of your corners. We're going to do a heck of a lot more. So everybody, please join us again soon for the next Linda's Corner. And I'm not going to tell you what that one's about. It's going to be a surprise. You have to join us to find out. So thanks, everyone. Have a great day, and we'll see you again soon.
Great. Bye.